You're doing well. Time for OJ. Time for OJ. Let's look and see. Playback speed is correct. I am not muted right now. The sound is on for the video. All three very important things. This is where it sat all night. So every time I came to my computer yesterday till now, I saw a Goldman hair kit, Goldman pant fabric sample. Let's get past this part. We are done with Weir. We are on to new people. We don't even have to hear his name today, Weir. Here we go.
Ms. Lewis, you have been referring to a report that you wrote at the time that you processed these items.
Yes, I have.
Now, is that the property report that just lists the items by number?
I've basically referring to two lists. One is the proper report. The other one were just my rough notes that I was making when I was booking the items.
And so those rough notes were made at the time that you were doing what you've testified to?
Yes.
Could I take a look at those rough notes?
Certainly.
Do we have a copy of this, ma'am? Now, is it accurate that neither your rough notes nor your property report contain descriptions of taking things out of bags, put your paper on the table, and all the details that you've described to us yesterday and today?
Correct.
Now, you prepared a separate report that does describe a lot of those things, correct?
Yes, I did.
And when did you prepare that separate report?
It was prepared in January when I found I was going to be involved with the case.
And do you have that with you?
Yes, I do.
Could I see that, please?
Yes.
She has a lovely shade of blue on. And huge shoulder pads.
Did you prepare that report at anyone's request?
No.
You did that on your own?
Yes.
Now, when you write a report like that, what happens to it?
It's my personal information. Nothing happens to it.
Do you, what did you do with that report when you wrote it in January?
Stayed in the computer.
I'm sorry?
Just stayed in the computer.
Your computer at work?
Yes.
Do your procedures at LAPD require that when you write a report, you make it part of a file somewhere?
If it's a formal report, yes, they are, such as the proper report that I have. As for personal notes, no.
You're not required to have your personal notes put in a file somewhere where your supervisors, for instance, can review them, or they can be provided in discovery in a criminal case?
Not for this type of procedure, not for coroner's evidence, no.
And where does it say there's an exception for coroner's evidence in terms of making your report available to the defense, for instance?
These reports were available if they were given, supplied to the prosecution if they were needed. It's not that they're not available.
Okay. When were they provided to the prosecution?
The paper listing my rough notes that I took at the time of when I was doing the evidence, processing the
Hi,
evidence,
Richard.
that was supplied, I believe it was in January, when I first found out that I was going to be involved in the case. And the notes, the type notes of basically the order that I did things, that was supplied just yesterday.
Since you worked on this case, has anybody from the prosecutor's office requested that you turn over any notes or reports that you wrote?
When I spoke to Ms. Clark in January, she asked for the information that I had, any notes that I had, and it was supplied at that time. This was done after my meeting with her.
So in January, do you remember what date that was that you gave her your notes?
No, I don't.
But it was in January of this year.
Yes.
As a follow-up to that meeting is why you typed out this other report?
Yes.
Did she ask you to type out the report?
No.
When you typed it up, did you call her and say, here's a report, here's my report of what I did?
No, I did not.
Did she tell you to write a report?
No, she did not.
Did she tell you not to write a report?
No.
Now, you've been with the Los Angeles Police Department since 1981.
Yes.
Is it your habit and custom when you write a report of something that you do like that to keep it to yourself?
I have my own files. This is the first time I've made a report such as this. It's the only case that I've gone to court on. So it's the only time I have completed this type of procedure.
Now, when Ms. Clark asked you for your notes in January, did you understand that she wanted everything that you might have written about what
Hi,
you did?
Carlos.
When she asked me for my notes, I gave her the notes that I had completed at that time. It was for my recollection, that was after the meeting when she asked.
I just found out if I completely close my stream in YouTube, it still keeps going. If I accidentally press the wrong button like that, it still keeps going.
Asked me for everything. I didn't know if this was going to be necessary or what was going to happen. It was just to try to
Terry,
refresh my
you're gonna have to
recollection
leave
as to
soon,
the order
aren't
I did
you?
things.
It's
How many times
Sunday.
have you testified in court in your
Sunday.
capacity as an employee at SID?
This is my first time.
Okay. And, but you've worked on many cases, have you not?
Yes.
You're familiar with the procedures that SID has about writing reports and putting them in files?
Formal reports, yes.
And is there some exception? Is it either written or oral that says you don't have to turn over some reports?
Not that I know of.
Is that your understanding? Is that the habit and custom of other people at SID to write reports that they keep as part of their own personal papers and don't make a part of the file?
I don't know what other people do.
Now, the report that you wrote in January is approximately 5 pages long,
Yes.
and there's a lot of detail in that report about putting butcher paper down, changing gloves. It's a very detailed report, is it not?
It's not complete, but it is detailed, yes.
Now, did you prepare that report based on the notes that I have here now, the rough notes and
Just
your
like
typed
my
property report?
car.
Yes.
Not complete.
Now, the rough
but
notes that you
detailed.
have and the property report don't have details about the specific steps you went through for each particular item, do they?
No, they don't.
Did you, in your writing your report, did you do that from a specific recollection that you had done those things, or that's just your common practice?
Combination of both.
Okay.
Me too, Zach.
Have you been assigned to the hair and trace unit since 1981?
No.
What has been your assignment? Well, let me rephrase that. At the time when you processed the items in this case, were you assigned full-time to work in that area?
Yes.
And when I say hair and trace, is that all in one unit?
Yes.
And trace evidence includes fibers, soil, other types of items like that, small items?
Yes.
Now, your responsibilities, did they involve going to crime scenes or just processing evidence back at the lab?
Going to crime scenes, I'm actually part of the field unit, which is part of the trace unit. It's sort of the dual unit.
Incidentally, when you turned over your typed report to Ms. Clark, did you tell her that you had done it way back in January?
I didn't tell Ms. Clark. I told one of the other assistant district attorneys,
Who was that?
Mr. Escobar.
And what date was that you turned that over?
Yesterday?
Okay. How long had you been assigned to the hair and trace unit as of June of last year?
I've been assigned since June of 1993.
So you've been there about a year?
Yes.
How many people are assigned to the hair and trace unit in the lab?
5, 6, counting myself.
You indicated on direct yesterday that when you started examining these items, you used opaque lighting. Did you mean oblique lighting?
Oop. Yes, sorry.
Okay, and oblique lighting is where you shine a light from the side on something to see if you can see something, hair, trace, that sort of thing, correct?
Yes. Did I say I looked, when I'm in the field, if I'm looking for trace evidence, yes, I use the lighting. On this case, I did not, because that's not my purpose with booking coroner's evidence.
Okay, so your specific purpose was not really to identify what hair and trace evidence was on those items.
Exactly.
It was merely taking it from the coroner's system and putting it into the LAPD system.
In this case, correct.
Now, would you agree, given your experience with hair and trace evidence, that it's difficult, if not impossible, to actually see hair and trace evidence with the naked eye on clothing or other evidentiary items?
It's not difficult. There are some items that are smaller than yes, it is, but for the most part, you can see it if you look carefully enough.
If you're looking carefully for it.
Exactly.
But if you're not looking carefully for it, it's not the sort of things that jump out at you right as soon as you look at an evidence item, is it?
Correct.
And when you're processing items, when you're actually trying to identify hair and trace, you do far more than just look at it.
Yes.
You use lighting, you use microscopes, you use other things that allow you to visualize whatever evidence might be on there that you can't see with the naked eye.
Correct.
Now, I think you described the evidence coming from the coroner's office as how many bags total?
There were 2 white mesh bags that came from the coroner's office.
And were those mesh bags sealed in any fashion?
They're closed. I don't recall in this case if it was sealed with tape. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're just closed. They're tied up with twine.
Okay. Inside the mesh package, was there then also another package that contained all the items for each bag?
Yes.
Was that sealed?
Yes, they were.
Could you take a look at the report that you typed in January? in the first paragraph, don't you indicate in that those packages were unsealed?
With the two unsealed packages, I was referring to the manila envelopes that contain the physical evidence. They're sealed only in the sense they've got the clasp that is folded out. Otherwise, they're not sealed. I wouldn't consider it as sealed.
Well, you indicated in your report that the evidence was transported from the coroner's office in 2 unsealed packages, one for each case, and a tied white mesh bundle for each victim.
Okay.
Now, are you saying now that what that means is that there were 2 white mesh bundle packages as well as 2 additional packages?
Yes.
Okay. And the packages that had the hair samples and other swatches, those were unsealed?
Yes.
Now, you took those items and put them in freezer bags, or frozen evidence storage bags, correct?
Bag, yes.
To your knowledge, had they been kept that way at the coroner's office?
Could you restate, please?
Yeah, to your knowledge, had those items of evidence which you felt should be kept in a frozen storage bag been kept in frozen storage at the coroner's office?
I have no knowledge.
Were they in any kind of a container that indicated that they had been kept frozen?
No.
Did they feel cold?
Not to my recollection.
When you got those packages, you got those from Ms. DeGrandis?
Yes.
And she works where?
At the time, she was assigned to the evidence control unit.
Did those packages, were they accompanied by any kind of a log or record that showed who collected them, when they were collected, who might have had access to them, that sort of thing?
No.
And this was on June 27th, which would have been almost 2 weeks after the murders?
Yes.
More than 2 weeks? Did you have any way of telling from looking at those bags who at the coroner's office had put them in the bags?
No.
Did you have any way of knowing who in the coroner's office or elsewhere might have had access to the bags before you got them?
No. Excuse me. The only thing, there is a name that's listed on the physical evidence anyway. The items are signed off by someone from the coroner's office, whether it's an investigator or the coroner, I do not know, but that's the only record that I know of.
When you say someone signed them off, what kind of a record is that?
On the envelopes, there is a place for the coroner's, someone from the coroner's office to sign the envelopes.
Okay, that's the envelopes with the swatches, the hair kits, fingernail kits.
Yes.
And that's the envelope that was not sealed.
No, that's on the sealed envelopes.
On
The
the
seal,
inside.
right, the envelopes that are not sealed is just the way the coroner's office gives it to our evidence control officer to transport it. Everything inside the envelopes is sealed.
Now, the ones in the envelopes that are sealed, do they have a record on them of who might have opened those bindles at any particular time and examined them and closed them back up again?
It has a name on it that refers to who sealed it. I don't know if it's been opened again.
Okay, so you have no way of knowing whether someone, from the time it was put in those bindles until the time you got it, opened it and looked at it.
Other than the fact that the tape hadn't been disturbed, there's no other indication.
What kind of tape was it? Was it
It's a red seal from the coroner's office.
does their seal require that a name be written on it just like yours?
It doesn't have a space on it for a name like ours does, no.
Now, the bags with the clothing in them, did they have, how were they sealed?
They were in a brown paper bag, and once again, it just had coroner's red seal tape over the bags.
With
It was
no
folded over.
I'm sorry.
It was folded over and sealed.
With no indication on the bag at all who sealed it?
There are possibly some initials, but I can't. Okay, usually there'll be initials and sometimes a date. I don't know specifically on this case what those initials were, or for sure if there were some.
All right, so you don't even know whether they were on there for this case?
I'd have to look at the bags again.
Okay. Did you make any notes in your notes about what information was on the bags from the coroner's office?
Only the white bindles that I received.
Now, the bags with the clothing, was there any way to tell on those bags how many people might have opened them up and looked at them before they got to you?
No.
When items come from the coroner's office typically, is one of your duties to process those kinds of items?
Yes.
Yeah, how many times have you done that roughly?
Around 200.
Is it standard practice for the coroner's office to provide the clothing in the manner in which it was provided in this case?
Yes.
Now, when you examine these items, you described in considerable detail what kind of precautions you take to avoid contamination or having trace evidence move from one place to another, correct?
Correct.
And you put on a lab coat. What's the purpose for that?
To protect myself and also to protect the items, so I don't transfer any items from myself or from the evidence that I'm handling to each other.
And is the reason for that because on our clothing and things that we wear and maybe in our hair, we can be transporters of hair and trace evidence from one place to another without even knowing it?
Yes.
Things can fall off our clothing and wind up on the evidence.
Yes.
Can fall out of our hair and wind up on the evidence.
Yes.
So the lab coat that you wear is designed to make sure that there's no transfer of trace evidence from you to the evidence.
Yes. One of the functions.
And is that a standard practice that you use?
Either a cloth lab coat or a disposable lab coat, yes.
And is that what you've been trained to do at LAPD?
Yes.
Now, you also indicated that you sometimes these are even disposable lab coats.
Yes.
And what's the purpose of having a disposable lab coat?
Basically, it's the ease of when you can't find your own lab coat.
Okay. But it's also because when you process some evidence with a lab coat on, there's a possibility that evidence from, or hair and trace evidence from what you're processing can get on that lab coat and then possibly contaminate the next case.
Yes.
So having a disposable lab coat allows you to prevent that from happening as well.
Yes.
Now, you indicated that you were wearing disposable sleeves.
Yes.
Are these made out of paper, fabric?
It's a disposable paper product. It's the same as the disposable lab coats.
And are those designed particularly so that they don't shed anything, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, yes.
Now, how do they work? How far up do they go in your arms?
For me, it goes all the way up underneath the arms.
And down to the wrist area?
Yes.
And again, is the purpose for that a further precaution to prevent you from transferring trace evidence to the evidence?
Yes.
And those being disposable, that also protects the next scene that might be processed because you're going to throw those sleeves away that might have gotten trace evidence on them that you don't see.
Right.
And I think you indicated that one of the reasons you wear those sleeves is because you can inadvertently perhaps brush something in the evidence and pick up something on your sleeve without knowing it.
Yes.
And would you agree that the nature of hair and trace evidence is such that it doesn't necessarily, or it can be removed from a substance or from a surface fairly easily? I mean, it can be blown off by the wind.
Yes, it can.
When you were examining these items, you, as I understand it, you had moved to the evidence processing room,
Yes.
and that's the same room where Dennis Fung and Andrea Mazzola had processed evidence that you had, I think you said you watched Mr. Yamauchi process some evidence.
A couple of items, yes.
And that's in that area of the lab that has the big roll-up door on the end
Yes.
and the drying areas in the back where the big walk-in kind of drying
Yes.
container. Now, when you went in to process this evidence, was there anybody else in there with you?
Not that I recall.
Was that big roll-up door open?
No.
Now, you wouldn't process evidence with that big roll-up door open, would you? Not when you're processing for hair and trace.
No.
And the reason for that is because air currents
Yes.
might come in and mess up your evidence, right?
Yes.
Do you try and avoid having other people wandering around while you're doing this to also prevent the same thing, that currents from people just walking, flapping their coats or whatever might cause some sort of disturbance in the trace evidence?
Yes.
Do you wear a hairnet when you're doing this?
With the coroner's case, not usually.
Now, people lose hair every day, don't they?
Yes.
Some more than others. I mean, people lose approximately 100 hairs a day, don't they?
Yes.
So, without even knowing it, your hair may be coming off at various times at places where you frequent.
Yes.
One reason for wearing a hairnet might be to prevent your own hair from contaminating the evidence, correct?
Correct.
And if you don't wear some kind of protective gear over your head, then the possibility exists that hair might get on the evidence that you didn't intend it to, and you may not even see it.
Right.
And what you've described in terms of the precautions you take, that's your common practice in every case that you work on, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's very important when you're considering, when you're processing items for hair and trace evidence,
In all cases.
in all cases. Did you take the same training that Dennis Fung and Andrea Mazzola took in terms of how to process evidence?
Yes.
So it's part of your training program that when you're processing evidence for hair trace and perhaps for any other type of evidence that you might be looking for, you wear lab coats, possibly disposable sleeves, gloves, you avoid a lot of people in the room. All those are precautions that you're trained to take,
Yes.
and presumably they're trained to take those as well.
Yes.
And does that hold also for changing the butcher paper? Each time you look at an item, when you're done with it, you throw the paper, or you look at the paper for trace evidence,
Yes.
and if there's trace evidence, you take it and you pour it into the bag that has that piece of evidence, correct?
Yes.
And that's so that if something falls off a piece of evidence, you want to make sure it doesn't get separated from that
Correct.
item, because there may be some evidentiary value in whatever falls off of an item.
Right.
And it's also very common that things fall off of items. Hair and trace evidence can fall off of items fairly easily.
They can.
It's not unusual at all when you take an article of clothing out to look at it that you're going to wind up with something on that paper that needs to be preserved.
Actually, it's not as common as you're making it sound. If you're careful, you can keep things from falling down.
Okay, but there were, in many of the items that you examined here, there were extra bindles that had been put in the bags because items had come off of the evidence, and someone had put them in a bindle to make sure they stayed with the evidence.
Yes.
And that was true I mean, how many bindles were there like that in just this case?
There are 3 additional bindles.
So in this case, is that an unusual, well, let me rephrase that. When you ordinarily process coroner's cases, do they, to your knowledge, save evidence that falls off of items?
They have, yes.
Now, it's not usual at all that you get items from the coroner's office that have bindles like in this case, is it?
No.
Do you ever see bindles in the evidence items like you saw in this case?
No.
So you have no way of knowing whether the coroner's office routinely saves items, or trace evidence that might fall off of evidence items.
On several other cases, I've also received items such as the hair. They'll put in physical evidence packets and they'll state that the hair or blood scrapings was removed from the victim's shirt, jacket, under the sleeves, whatever.
Okay, those are items that they specifically take off of a body or off of evidence, correct?
Yes.
In terms of items that might fall off that they weren't intending to take off, just by virtue of them inspecting an item, they don't routinely put those in bindles so that they're preserved, do they?
Sustained.
In your experience, do you ever see bindles that have written on them or indicated that this is debris that fell off an item when it was inspected?
This is the only case I've seen that, yes.
Now, the bindles in this case that you saw had writing on it indicating that something occurred while Dr. Bodden was present.
Yes.
And Gary Sigler, whose name is on those bindles, is a coroner's employee, is he not?
I don't know his status.
Have you ever checked to see who he works for?
No.
And you're aware that Dr. Bodden is a defense witness, a defense expert.
I am now.
Now, you indicated that you had seen Colin Yamauchi and perhaps others working on evidence items in this case earlier.
Yes.
Now, do you remember what day that was?
No.
Was that in the evidence processing room?
In the evidence processing room and also other areas of the lab.
What other areas?
Trace and I believe serology.
What items did you see being worked on in the evidence processing room?
I remember seeing Colin handling the glove. I believe that was very shortly after the homicides.
Was that in the morning?
I don't recall.
When he was handling the glove, what was he doing?
I believe he was looking for blood, looking at or looking for blood on the glove.
Now, when he was handling the glove, was he, moving it around, looking at it, and was he looking at it under a microscope?
No?
So he was doing just a visual search
Yes.
and handling it, moving it around, turning it over, I assume, and looking everywhere he could?
He was minimally handling it. I remember it being on the table. I don't remember rough handling or bouncing around or anything.
Okay, but he was moving it around with his hands.
Yes.
Did you see him taking any cuttings from the glove?
I don't recall.
Was Dennis Fung there when he was handling the glove?
No?
Did you see any other items of evidence that were being worked on at that time?
At that time, no.
Now, you had gone into the evidence processing room, correct?
Yes.
So there would be a record of you going in the door there?
Yes.
How many other people were in there looking around?
No one else?
Would it be fair to say that when the evidence started coming in on this particular case, that everybody in the lab knew about it?
I don't know about everybody.
I mean, this was a big case, wasn't it?
Oh, well,
We have a lot of big cases, and we had a lot going on at that time, too, so
This was a big case, wasn't it?
I guess.
Oh, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And one of the reasons you were going into the evidence processing room was to see what was going on?
No? I had business in the evidence processing room.
What kind of business?
I'm responsible for taking care of the evidence processing room, and I don't know if at that time if I was going in because I had coroner's evidence or what the situation, if I was just going up to straighten up.
Okay. Are you aware that there were 2 other cases with evidence in that room at the same time?
sustained.
Do you know whether or not there was evidence from other cases in that room at the same time that Mr. Yamauchi was handling the glove?
I don't personally recall.
That wouldn't be unusual, would it, to have evidence from more than one case in that room at the same time?
Not at all.
Oh, well.
Now, I think you indicated that you'd also seen some work being done on the knit cap.
I remember seeing the knit cap, yes.
Where was that?
I believe it was in the trace unit.
And who was working on it?
I don't recall.
Was it Susan Brockbank?
Possibly.
But it could be somebody else?
Sustained.
Was that around the same time that you saw Mr. Yamauchi handling the glove?
No,
That was it. How much difference in time was there? Was it like a week later or
I
later
don't
in the
recall.
day? You don't have any recollection of that?
No.
What other evidence did you see other people working on that you can recall?
I remember seeing evidence. I can't tell you exactly what it was. It's just a generalization. I remember there was evidence in the room. People were working on various things. I don't remember specifics.
Okay. People were working on various things in the same room.
In various rooms, yes.
And was this all right shortly after the homicide?
No.
The hair kits that were in each of the envelopes contained several different kinds of hair, did they not?
Yes.
Do you remember what those different kinds were?
Yes.
What were they?
For Mr. Goldman, it was head hair, facial hair, and arm hair.
Now, are you familiar with the procedure used to take head hair exemplars?
Yes.
Oh, well.
And that procedure involves collecting a number of hairs from a person from different areas of the head. It's not?
Yes.
And how many hairs are ordinarily collected for an exemplar?
I have no idea.
Approximately 100, is that normal? Or is that?
Oh, well.
From the coroner's office, I do not know.
How about in the procedures that you use when you collect an exemplar?
Around 100, yes.
And the reason for doing that, or is the reason for doing that, so that you get a representative sample of hairs from a person's head?
Now we're beyond the scope.
Okay. Could we have the photographs that were put in yesterday, specifically Exhibit 414?
Mrs. Robertson?
They put people 414. Please zoom in on the large envelope on the left. Now, Ms. Lewis, looking at this photograph, I note that there's the number 75 at the top of it that's crossed off, and the number 83 is written in with your initials.
Correct.
And that's, is that because you started out with a certain numbering system, not realizing that you had some other items that you wanted to keep in sequence,
Yes.
and you changed those numbers later?
Yes.
And the proper procedure to do that is cross out the number, but not cross it out so badly that you can't read it, right?
Correct.
To write the new number,
Yes.
put your initials on there,
Yes.
so you're able to reconstruct later on that that's what you did.
Yes.
And that's what the old number is, that's what the new number is, no doubt about it.
Yes.
And is that the same procedure that you're taught at LAPD, that Dennis Fung and Andrew Mazzola had the same kind of training?
That was my
Sustained.
Is that part of your training at LAPD in the SID unit, that's the way you make, if you're going to change something that's already written on an item, you do it that way?
That is the way I was trained from the police academy.
Okay. I want to ask you about the shirt. The bag that came from the coroner's office, is it accurate that the only identifying information on that bag was shirt?
I'd have to look at the bag again.
Okay, do we have, is that on, have you seen a picture of that yesterday?
Yes. Yes, it says shirt.
Is there anywhere on that bag any identifying information stating what case it's from?
No.
Now, when you preserve evidence in a container like a bag, you write down information that identifies what case it's connected to, don't you?
Yes.
That's standard procedure, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it your understanding that the habit and practice at the coroner's office is to not write down the identification of what case is involved for a particular container?
Sustained.
In the other coroner's cases that you have worked on, is that a standard practice that they will have clothing in a bag and not have any identification as to what case it came from?
On the brown paper bags that the clothing is physically in or initially in, no, it has no identification. On the white mesh bag, which contains all the clothing for one victim, yes, it does.
Okay. You would never, though, put a container that's unmarked as to the case inside another container. Isn't it your practice that you want to make sure that you know what case an item goes with, so in case it gets separated from the large bag, you know where it came from?
Yes.
Or will.
When you put butcher paper down on the table to look at an item, what color is that paper?
In this case, it was white.
Sometimes you use brown paper.
Yes.
Is it more difficult to see trace evidence with brown paper?
Depends on the trace evidence, yes.
Do you know what color paper the coroner's office uses when they collect things? Or if they use paper?
In this case, there was white paper. I don't know what their habit is, if it's always white.
Now, the white paper you're talking about are the bindles that are indicated with Dr. Bodden's name on them.
Yes.
Now, when you took the shirt out of the bag, it obviously had been stored wet, had it not?
Sustained.
It was moldy, wasn't it?
It had spots of mold on it, yes.
And it had a very strong smell to it, did it not?
Smell is relative. In this case, I don't recall a strong smell.
And when the proper procedure for packaging clothing that may be covered with blood or have a lot of moisture in it is to dry it first, correct?
Yes.
And the reason for doing that is to prevent such things as mold growing on it.
Yes.
So is it fair to say that when something has been put in a bag and mold grows on it, that it probably has not been preserved properly?
Or will.
Yes.
And you have no personal knowledge who took the shirt, who put it in the bag, and who might have gotten in or out of the bag at any particular time until it got to you.
Correct.
Now, I think you said that you opened those bindles, the white bindles, because they were unusual. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
And they were unusual in the sense that you generally don't see items coming from the coroner's office with bindles in them.
Correct.
And Greg Matheson told you to go ahead and open those up.
Yes.
Did those bindles contain identifying information as to the date they were made?
No.
Let me show you people's number 416. And could we zoom in right below where it says 77? Now this is the bindle that indicates it came from under the shirt or the jacket.
Yes.
Now there's a date 6/22/94, 1430, and I believe that's a GS, although I'm not sure.
Yes.
Now is that an indication of the date it was collected and who collected it?
It's an indication of some date. I misspoke. I had forgotten about that date on there.
Okay. And the other bindles have dates and initials on them indicating when Dr. Bodden and Mr. Sigler put them in there.
I don't recall specifically.
Let's look at .422. And can we blow up the second from the left? And that's the bindle marked number 75, indicated from under Ron Goldman's shoes.
Yes.
And that also has a date and initials on it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Now, when you testified that there were no such dates on those, what had you been using to refresh your memory?
I was using my notes where I had just listed down what the bindles said, not everybody who handled the bindles.
Okay, so in preparation for your testimony, you did not look at these pictures?
No, I did not.
When you looked at them yesterday when you testified, when they were on the Elmo and when they were handed to you. Did you look at them carefully to see if your testimony was correct?
I looked at them for the question that I was asked to make sure that question was, my answer was correct for that specific question. I don't recall the question in regards to signature, the date and time on it.
Okay. You don't remember being asked, were there any indication as to when those bindles were made?
No, I don't.
Yesterday, did you use the phrase, at some point you stopped resealing bags that you were preparing because you'd gotten one surprise from the coroner's office and there might have been others? Words to that effect?
Yes.
And by surprise from the coroner's office, you're referring to the bindles?
Yes.
Are you referring to the fact that some separate evidence items were stored in the same bags?
Could you rephrase, please?
Is one of the things that was a surprise to you that some items of clothing, separate items of clothing were stored in the same bags?
That they had multiple items of clothing in one bag, that is not a surprise, no.
It's not a surprise to you?
No.
That's not proper procedure, is it?
I don't know.
Overrule.
I don't know the coroner's office procedure for storing bags. I know Los Angeles Police Department's SIDs.
You would never put two items of clothing in the same bag, would you?
Overrule.
If the items were picked up together, then yes, I would.
You realize that anytime you put two separate items in the same container, you essentially are if you find hair and trace evidence on either of those items, you can no longer say which one they came from, can you?
Yes, but if I've got socks that are laying on top of a pair of pants at a crime scene, there's already cross-contamination has already occurred between the two items. They can then be gathered and put into the same bag.
So if there's cross-contamination, for instance, from a pant leg touching a sock, you're not concerned about preserving the integrity of that sock and whatever trace evidence might be on it, and it's okay to mix that up with the rest of the jeans.
Sustain.
Mr. Goldman's shoes were both put in the same envelope, weren't they?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, in the same bag
His shoes were put in the same bag as what?
as each other. Two
yes.
shoes in one bag.
Yes.
Do you, as part of your routine, when you have shoes that might be evidence, keep them separate so that there's no cross-contamination from one shoe to the other?
No.
Have you heard of that being done as a technique in crime labs?
Not if the shoes are found together, no.
Now, the shirt, when you took the shirt out of the bag,
Hi, Bobby. Bobby, we are in it. You know how
417,
OJ gets a little boring in some spots? This has to be the worst of it. Even though we went through that DNA with all that and Fung and Rosa, this right here is the worst of it, I think. Even the 11 cents on the sidewalk and the dog barking. This right here, I think, is the worst that we've been through, boring-wise, in OJ. It's very difficult to keep watching. But we're going to, because we are troopers.
Is that what it looked like right after you took it out of the bag?
Do you mean, is this the way I laid the shirt out?
No, was it folded up like that in the bag?
Yes.
We have a
And
different
in the
witness
process of
coming
your looking
today,
at
I
it, you
think,
stretched it out.
as soon as she's done.
Look at People's 418.
Yes.
And then at some point it was folded back up again and put in a new bag.
Yes.
Have you ever used the technique with an item of clothing like that to put paper on the front and the back before it's rolled up so that items of evidence that might be on the top of the shirt don't get put on the bottom of the shirt or moved around?
No, I haven't.
So I take it you didn't use that kind of a technique with this clothing.
Correct.
With each of these items,
You missed a good one, Bobby.
you put the evidence in new bags, correct?
Yes.
And you did not use the bags that the coroners used.
Correct.
What was the reason for that?
Because the bags from the coroner's office I had received them with multiple items in there, and so I wanted to get them the fresh bags.
And did you ever check the bags from the coroner's office to see what kind of debris was in those bags?
When I'm removing the item, I do at that time.
How do you do that?
When the item gets taken out of the bag, and then I have a visual inspection, and if I see anything in the bag, I make sure it goes back into the new bag with the item.
So you visually look in the bag?
Yes.
You don't turn it over and shake it out to see what might be there?
If I see something in the bag, then it will be turned over and shaken, or I don't care for the word shaken because I'm not like a salt and pepper shaker shaking something up, but it will be turned over to allow the item to fall out, to remain with the clothing.
But you don't do that unless you actually see something in there?
Exactly.
Isn't it a common experience, particularly with paper bags, that have creases and seams in the bottom of them for things to get caught there?
They can.
And those you may not be able to see, and to get them out, you got to shake them out, right?
Right?
But do you recall whether you did that with any of the bags from the coroner's office in this case?
No, I didn't.
You did not. You don't recall, or you didn't do that?
I didn't shake them.
Okay. When you have debris or hair or trace evidence come off of an item onto the paper, do you make any effort to preserve that particular trace evidence in a separate bindle so that you can reconstruct at some later time when trace evidence came off of an item?
What do you mean by when exactly?
Well, you indicated at least with one of the items that some trace evidence came off, and you saw it on the paper, you took the paper, and you poured it back in the bag.
Yes.
Now, would you agree that there's no way, if someone looked at this later and other trace evidence came off the item, you'd have no way of telling the sequence in which things might have come off an item because they weren't preserved in separate bindles?
Exactly.
So you've never done that where when something comes off of it, you put it in a separate bindle so you know when it came off, who was there, what the circumstances were.
Not with coroner's evidence, no.
With other evidence, you do that?
Some evidence that is gathered in the field, if something falls off, then it's going to get packaged in a coin envelope at that time, and it's indicated in my notes where the item was removed from.
Okay. But you don't do that with coroner's evidence?
No.
Is that because you have no way of vouching for how the evidence is actually collected and preserved by the coroner's office, so it doesn't matter?
I have no way of knowing how it came from the coroner's office, correct?
So it's not going to make any difference to you to preserve it separately because you can't tell how it was preserved originally.
Exactly.
Terry's still here. Terry, it's 7:30. I'm not rushing you. I want you to stay.
The hair that you found in the shoe bag, that was in a separate bindle, was it not?
Yes.
Is there any indication on that bindle as to which shoe it came from?
It didn't state it came from a shoe.
What did it say it came from?
It didn't state. It was just in a brown paper bag that was in the other bag.
Was there any identifying information at all as to where it came from?
No.
Did you find that unusual?
Yes.
Are there any markings on it at all?
The bag had hair written on it, but I don't recall if I put hair on it or if it came from the coroner's office that way.
Okay. You would never preserve something that way with just right hair on it and nothing else, would you?
Sustain.
Now, the one bag had both the pants and the socks in it, correct?
Correct.
Was there any indication on the socks as to which one was on the left foot, which one was on the right foot?
No.
Is that something that you would ordinarily record as standard procedure so that you could correlate the socks perhaps to the shoes?
I haven't.
Did you consider putting the socks, one in each separate bag?
No.
That's because they were already mixed up with the pants, right?
Yes.
Now, the pants also, in the bag that you got, The bag just said pants and socks, didn't it?
From the coroner's office, I'd have to verify.
Okay. Let me show you people 423. That appear to be the bag, pants, and socks.
Yes.
And could we zoom in on the right, please? Now, pants and the socks, you have no idea who wrote that, do you?
No, I don't.
No initial at all about who wrote that.
No.
Then you have a plus and a debris that appears to be a different kind of ink. Do you have any idea who wrote plus debris?
It's my scribble.
Okay. And when did you put that on there?
When I was doing the evidence?
So that wasn't on there when the coroner's office sent it to you.
No, it was not.
And there's something underneath where you say debris that's scribbled out. Do you have any idea what that is?
I have a guess of what it was.
What's your best estimate of what it is?
I believe I was starting to put down about the bindle again.
Okay. So nothing, that certainly wasn't on there when you got it from the coroner's office.
Monster
Now, can we
Ball?
come in a little bit on the lower right?
Ace Frehley.
SAD is
Yes.
Susan Brockbank, correct?
Yes, it is.
And she works in SID,
Yes, she does.
not at the coroner's office.
Correct.
So is it, would you assume that that was put on sometime after you processed it?
Yes, it was.
And CY is Colin Yamauchi, correct?
Yes.
And that would have been put on after you processed it.
Yes.
That's good
So
for
is it
him,
accurate to say
Zach.
that the only thing on that bag, when it came from the coroner's office, was pants, socks?
Yes.
And showing you people's 425, the pants, when they came out of the bag, again, were all rolled up, weren't they?
I don't know if they were rolled or folded.
There was no paper used to try and keep one area of the pants from touching other areas of the pants and contaminating them.
Exactly.
And you didn't make any effort to do that because, what's the use, right?
It's already been contaminated, or handled, I should say, not contaminated.
It's already been mixed up so that what might have been on the bottom of the pants might now be on the top and vice versa.
Yes.
Let me show you people's 427. Now you indicated when you looked at the socks, there was no debris on the paper after you set them out, correct?
Correct.
Now you would agree that in this picture there's debris there.
Yes.
Now this picture was taken at some other time, I assume.
Yes.
When was this picture taken?
No knowledge. I could determine if I looked at the tag, but that's only from what is stated there. I was not present at the time. It appears to be 7/27/94.
So that's sometime after, clearly after you look at it, a month after you look at it.
Yes.
It's not unusual, is it, for evidence like clothing to have trace evidence fall off of it one time and not another time?
No, it's not unusual.
Do you have any idea whether the debris from the socks in that picture was ever preserved in a separate bin?
No knowledge.
Now, the dress and the panties were also kept in the same bag, correct?
They were received from the coroner's office in the same bag, yes.
All kind of mixed up together.
Yes.
And you put them in separate bags, correct?
Yes.
Was there any indication on the bag with both the dress and the panties as to what case it was connected with?
No.
You indicated this morning that there was a slight delay in Mr. Goldman's items being booked.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
The items were received from, according to my records, from Mr. Grandes on the June 27th, 1994, and they were physically booked into, the report was made and the items were physically booked into the evidence processing unit, or I'm sorry, evidence control unit on June 28th.
That's the delay you were referring to?
Yes.
And being booked into the evidence processing unit, that's where they barcode it and it's put into the security system there at the property unit at the lab.
Yes.
Now, the tag on the box that you were asked to identify that you said was not your writing, do you know whose writing it was?
No.
You have a minute, Your Honor?
Certainly. Ms. Clark?
I can. It was
Ms. Lewis,
that
thank you very
serial
much.
killer.
Excused. All right, let's take our recess
was-
at this point, and then we'll bring in our next witness. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our mid-morning recess. Please remember all my admonitions to you. We'll see you back here in about 15 minutes.
It was a serial killer, a humongous big serial killer. Not Dahmer, not Bundy. It was a serial killer. I'm not Googling it. I'm just not. I am
Ms.
going
Clark,
to
if you
figure
may
this
call the
out.
next witness.
It's on the tip of my tongue. It wasn't the Zodiac. Ah, I'm not going to get there. I don't think I'm going to remember. Unabomber? Was it the Boston Strangler? Oh, man. I was so close. Thank you, Zach.
Susan Brockbank, SUSAN, BROCKBANK.
Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Brockbank, can you please tell us what you do?
Yes, I'm a criminalist. I work for the City of Los Angeles, assigned to the Trace Analysis Unit of the Scientific Investigation Division of the Police Department.
And when did you begin with that job?
I began in 1987, and in the Trace Analysis Unit, I've been there for about 5 years. I started there in 1990.
Now, where did you begin initially when you went to SID?
Initially, I worked in the toxicology unit. I worked there for about a year and a half. That's the unit of the lab that analyzes things like urine and blood for drugs. And then I moved on to the narcotics analysis unit, which is the unit of the lab that analyzes bulk narcotics to identify that they are indeed narcotics and not powdered sugar or something like that. I worked there for about a year, and then I moved on to the trace unit, which is where I'm currently at, and I've been there, like I say, about five and a half years.
Now, with respect to hair and trace, can you tell us what kind of training you've had?
Should I start with my educational background, or?
Yes.
I have a Bachelor of Science degree in microbiology with a minor in chemistry. That's from California State University at Long Beach. And after graduating college, I I first volunteered at the LA County Sheriff's Crime Lab. Later, I worked as a student professional worker for the LAPD Crime Lab. Went back to the Sheriff's Crime Lab as a laboratory technician. Came back to LAPD as a criminalist. That was in 1987. Once I became a criminalist, in the trace analysis unit specifically, I began going through on-the-job training in the areas of trace evidence. The trace unit analyzes things like hairs and fibers, shoe prints, tool marks, tire tracks, paint, glass, basically any type of physical evidence that may be found at a crime scene. The trace unit is the unit that analyzes those things. And I went through on-the-job training, like I said, in all those various areas of evidence analysis. Also in the area of crime scene investigation. Part of my job includes going to crime scenes and actually collecting, preserving, identifying physical evidence. I also attended 2 courses in forensic microscopy.
What's that?
Use of the microscope, basically, for doing forensic work. Things like, working on hairs and fibers or anything that requires a microscope. Those classes were taught by the McCrone Research Institute of Chicago. And I also attended a class in hair analysis, which was taught by James Bailey of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Crime Lab. And I think that about does it.
So you've been working in the hair and trace unit for 5 years then?
Yes.
And during that 5 years, what portion of that time was devoted actually to the examination of hairs or fibers?
I didn't actually begin performing analysis on casework until about a year and a half into my time in the trace unit. During that time, I was going through these training classes and on-the-job training. So I began doing casework about a year and a half in, so that would be for the last 4 years, roughly. I've been doing casework in hair and fiber analysis.
Now, how many times have you actually qualified as an expert in court on hair and trace analysis?
I think only about 5 times.
Now, what do you recall when you were assigned to do the hair and trace work on this particular case?
Yes, I first was assigned to do work on this case on June 21st of 1994.
Now, the duties that you performed in this case, were they primarily the collection of the hair and fiber from the items of evidence found at the crime scenes?
Primarily, yes.
And the examination with respect to comparison of hairs and fibers, was that done by Mr. Diedrich, the unit chief at the FBI for hair and trace?
Yes, it was.
On June 21st, if you can please tell us, was that your first contact with the evidence in this case?
Yes, it was.
What did you do?
On June 21st, I went to our evidence control unit, which is basically a secured storage facility for a lot of property that is seized and booked in various crimes throughout the city. I went to the evidence control unit and checked out 2 large boxes, each of these boxes containing evidence that I was interested in looking at.
Where were they?
In the evidence control unit.
And what is that?
Like I said, it's a secured storage facility. When we quote unquote book evidence, the evidence is actually physically taken to this room, and it's kind of adjacent to the laboratory. And in this large room, they just have racks and different things that they'll store the boxes of evidence on.
Do they have a freezer?
Yes,
When you went to the evidence control unit on June the 21st, you recovered, you said, 2 boxes?
yes.
Where were they in the evidence control unit?
One was in their freezer, and the other one was being held shelf storage.
And you do recover both of them?
Yes, I did.
Where'd you take them?
I took them into the trace analysis unit, which is where I work.
Now, were the victim's hair samples or clothing contained in either of those boxes?
No, they were not.
Was a hair sample collected from the defendant kept in any of those boxes?
No, it was not.
In fact, had a hair sample even been collected from the defendant as of June the 21st, 1994?
Not to my knowledge.
Did you collect that hair sample from the defendant
Yes, I did.
personally?
Yes.
And when did you do that?
That was on July 12th of 1994.
Now, which box did you begin with?
I believe I began with box number 1. What I designated as box number 1. The boxes don't have big numbers on them.
Okay. With respect to the examination of the boxes, where did you perform that?
In the trace analysis lab, we have basically lab benches going all around the perimeter of the lab, and then in the center, there's a large examination table. I perform most of my analysis on that large examination table in the center of the room.
So is that you have a separate part of the lab for hair and trace?
Yes.
Is that a room that is just devoted to hair and trace analysis?
Well, it's the trace analysis lab.
Now, before you began to examine box number 1, was there some preparation you made to clear the work area?
Yes, I washed down the lab bench with a dilute bleach solution just to clean the lab bench. And then I covered the lab bench with white butcher paper just to cover the area. And then I opened the first box and inventoried the items in that box. When I decided I was going to actually examine one of those items, I laid down another piece of white paper and used that as a clean working surface to examine each individual item. Between items that I examined, I changed that paper, put down a new piece of paper.
That's as a matter of routine. You always do that?
Yes, I do.
And you did that in this case?
Yes.
Do you specifically recall having done that in this case?
Yes.
So after you washed down the table with dilute bleach and put down the butcher paper, first of all, can you tell me this? Do you wear a lab coat when you do your examinations and collection?
Yes, I do.
Always?
Always.
And what color is it?
It's white.
And do you wear gloves when you do the examination of items of evidence for hair and trace?
Yes, I do.
What kind?
Latex gloves.
And did you do so in this case?
Yes, I did.
So after having gowned up, got your gloves on, the table's bleached, there's paper down, what did you do with the box number 1?
Well, I opened the box just by cutting along the top with a razor blade. The boxes was taped shut, and there was a seal across the top signed by Dennis Fung. I opened the box and removed the various items that were in it. There were several different items in each of those boxes. And
1 second, Susan.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, Ms. Brockbank. Your Honor, we have a photograph. I'd like it to be marked People's 436.
All right, People's 436 appears to be a photograph of a box with multiple seals.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, do you recognize what's being shown in this photograph?
yes. Yes, it's a box. It's a little blurry in my picture. I don't know if you can focus it better. I believe that's box number 1.
Is that what the box looked like, box number 1?
Well, except for all of the evidence tapes across the top. Each time the box was closed by someone, a new piece of, it was retaped, and then an evidence seal was placed across the top. When I initially saw it, there was just one seal across the top, not several like you see there.
And when you refer to sealed, you're talking about that red tape?
Yes, the red tape are LAPD evidence seals, and those are placed on, when someone opens the box, does something with the evidence, and then recloses the box. And then it's actually taped shut with the brown tape that you see kind of going around the circumference of the box. There's brown tape, it's about 2 inches wide, and we wrap the boxes in both directions just to secure that box before placing that evidence tape over the top.
And was it taped in that fashion with respect to the brown tape and one of the evidence seals? Was it taped in that fashion when you found it on June the 21st?
Yes, it was.
So,
This is going to be People's 437.
oh, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Was there some kind of a list or something that tells you, without opening the box, what it should contain?
Yes. Actually, there's a label. I guess, is it better if I point to this large one? The label on the end that is down near the bottom of the screen, there's a little brown label, and in the upper right corner of that brown label, you see a little barcode. A lot of our evidence is tracked based on barcodes, so that's why you'll see a barcode on a lot of the packages. But on that brown label, there's a listing of the item numbers, and those are LAPD item numbers for each piece of evidence that's contained in that box. So
We have
that's
a
the
close-up
list.
photograph of a tag. I'm going to show you, Ms. Brockbank, asked to be marked People's 437A.
All right, 437A.
Do you recognize what's shown in this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
That's a close-up of that evidence tag that is on that box. And here you can see the, on the tag it says describe contents briefly. You see a listing, it says item numbers, and then a listing of each of the item numbers that are in that box.
All right. Now, with respect to the items that are listed to be in that box, which, if any, items listed in that box there contained items of hair or trace?
Let's see. I only examined 2 items in that box, item number 19 and I believe item 58. Those were the 2 items that were hair or fiber evidence.
And item number 19, what was that?
Item number 19 was a small coin envelope which contained a paper bindle, which is basically a piece of paper tri-folded 3 ways to contain evidence on the inside, and that paper bindle had some hairs in it.
Do you see an item number 19 on the board that has been marked as People's?
The board,
I could write this down.
436.
On People's 436.
May I get up?
Yes.
What was your question again? Sorry.
Do you see item number 19 on the board marked as People's 436?
Yes, I do. It's right here in the upper right-hand corner. That's a coin envelope here that you see in the photograph, and that's the white paper bindle that was inside that coin envelope.
You can resume your seat. And we'll show it to you on the monitor for everybody's comfort. Your Honor, I don't know if you want me to mark these individually. They're already depicted on the board.
Which one is it on the board? Can you tell me?
It's item number 19.
All right.
All right, can you tell us if you recognize what's shown in this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And that is?
The coin envelope and white paper bindle that I examined.
And was it, you see the writing on it there, number 19, trace removed from number 9, and a signature?
Yes, I do.
Do you recognize the signature?
Yes, I do.
Whose signature is that?
That's Dennis Fung, F-U-N-G.
And the coin envelope, was it sealed when you recovered it from the box that was marked as number 1?
Yes, it was sealed with a piece of tape.
And the number 9 that's referred to, number 19, trace removed from number 9, do you know what number 9 is?
Yes.
What is that?
Number 9 is a glove.
Recovered from?
I believe that was the glove recovered from Rockingham.
Okay. Now, the other items that were contained in the box with this coin envelope, you had the numbers already shown to you on the screen. Can you tell us, if you recall by memory, what items of evidence those numbers went to?
Actually, I don't. If I could refer to my notes.
You may.
Did you just want the list of each of those item numbers, or
If
what?
you could just tell us briefly what each of those items are. Number 10?
Just a second. Item number 10 was listed on the property report as a blue plastic bag.
Okay, and 15?
15 was an airline ticket receipt.
And 16?
16 was a baggage tag.
And 18?
18 was shoes.
Reeboks?
Yes, I believe so. I examined those at one point in time.
Okay. And 35?
35 were some keys,
36?
a pager,
40?
a ring,
And 46?
a menu.
And were each of those in separate bags, each of those items?
Yes, they were.
And were they sealed?
Yes, they were.
All right, now after you recovered item 19,
Actually, each of those items were in envelopes. I'm sorry, not bags.
in what, coin envelopes or manila envelopes?
Yeah, I described them as coin envelopes, or actually just small yellow envelopes.
Each of the items you just read off to us?
Yes.
And sealed individually?
Yes.
Now, with respect to item 19, you said that you recovered a bindle from that envelope?
Yes, I did.
And do you see that bindle depicted on the board marked People's 436?
Yes.
I'm going to show it to you on the monitor because I see you straining.
Yes.
And where is that?
The bindle is in the upper right-hand corner of the monitor. It's the white thing that's kind of folded. You can see the 19, and I think it's a DF on it.
For Dennis Fung?
Yes.
All right. So what did you do with that bindle?
I took it over to our stereo microscope, which is a low-power microscope, which is on a lab bench, one of the lab benches around the periphery of our lab, not the large one in the middle, but one on the side. And on that lab bench, under the microscope, I had laid down some white paper. I opened the bindle and examined the hairs that were inside. If I could just look at my notes for just a second.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I mounted those hairs on a microscope slide with some water. Basically, what that involves is just taking a clean microscope slide, it's just a piece of glass about so big, about 1 inch by 3 inches. Put a little dab of water on it to secure the hairs. Place the hairs on. Again, I had gloves on my hands when I did this, and placed the hairs on the slide using my hands, and then covered that with a cover slip, which basically is another piece of very thin glass, and that allows me to examine it on the microscope. I take that over to a microscope, which will magnify things on the order of 100 to 400 times. And I examined those hairs on that microscope.
Now, at the time that you did this, were there any other items of hair or trace pertaining to this case in the vicinity?
No, there were not.
Were there any items of hair or trace at all around around the coin envelope and the bindle marked as number 19?
No, there were not.
Now, with respect to the mounting in water, is that something that is favored? Is that a good idea to mount hair or fibers on water?
Not really.
And why is that?
For a microscopic examination of hairs, water is a poor mounting medium because of what's called a refractive index, which is what allows you to see through something. It's basically, there's a number assigned to different objects. Water has a refractive index of around 1.25. It's a number. But what happens is hair, when you're looking at that under a microscope, you need to mount it in a refractive index that is close to the refractive index of hair. And water is very far away from hair. So when you examine it under the microscope, you don't get to see all of the really important details of the hair that help you to give a real good identification of that hair.
Does it have any impact on your ability to see accurately the color of the hair you're looking at?
To some degree, it can affect that. Basically, what you get is kind of when you look through the microscope, kind of a black border around everything, so it obscures a little bit of everything that you see.
So after you examined the hair from number 19 under the microscope in that water mount on the slide, what did you do next?
I made some notations on my note sheet, and then I unmounted the hairs, basically the reverse of mounting them. I took that cover slip off, removed the hairs from the slide, put them back into the paper bindle, folded that up, put it back into the coin envelope, and folded the the flap of the coin envelope so that it was closed. And that was the end of my examination at that point.
So it went back into the original bindle, did it?
Yes,
And back into the coin envelope?
yes.
Did you seal the bindle?
Not at that time, no.
How did you
Actually,
close
no,
it? How did you
never.
make sure that the hair didn't fall out?
Just by folding the bindle. Like I say, it's a tri-fold thing. If you have a piece of paper like this, you basically fold it 3 times, and your hairs first will be placed in the center of that bindle. So you fold the edges over, and the hairs are now in the center of those pieces of paper. Then you fold these other 2 edges over, and the hair is then secured on the inside of that bindle.
And is one end tucked into the other?
Some people do that, some don't.
What do you do?
I usually do.
And then that item is put into a coin envelope?
Yes.
And is the coin envelope closed?
Yes, it was closed by folding over the top flap.
Now, after you got done, after you did that, what did you do with the slide? You had the water on.
I discarded that slide.
Did you notice anything unusual about the water in which the hair had been resting on the slide?
Yes, actually, the water had kind of a reddish tinge to it because all of those hairs appeared to be encrusted with blood when I was examining them. There was a lot of blood on them.
After that examination, did you look at the butcher paper on which you had done your exam of item 19?
Yes,
For what purpose?
just to make sure that nothing had escaped the bindle when I was examining it, and there was nothing on the butcher paper.
And did you look at your gloves?
Yes, I did.
And for what purpose did you do that?
Basically the same reason. I check my gloves periodically whenever I do an exam just to make sure that I don't get any hairs or fibers on them, adhering to my gloves rather than on the slides or in the bindles that I'm working with.
And did you do that in this case as well?
Yes.
And was there any hair or trace on your gloves?
No.
And this whole examination that you conducted of item 19, was that done with clean gloves on the clean butcher paper?
Yes.
After you completed your examination, you examined the paper and your gloves. What did you do next?
Well, I returned that coin envelope to the box, and then I began examining some other items.
Did you change the paper?
Yes, I did.
That's the butcher paper that you examine items on?
Right.
And what about your gloves?
I also changed my gloves.
Now, did you look at box number 2?
Yes, I did.
And People's 438, Your Honor?
All right. 438.
Showing you People's 438. Do you recognize what's being shown there?
Well, it's a box. I believe it's box number 2, but again, that photograph's kind of blurry. I can't really read the tag.
If we show you the tag close up, will that help?
That would help, yes.
People's 438A?
438A.
Yes, that's the tag on the box that I had designated as box number 2.
Now,
And-
that shows that is the same as the other tag, if there's a description area for the contents of the box,
Right.
and it's just there described by item number?
Yes.
Number 9, numbers 1 through 9. Let me just single out some of the items in it so that we don't have to do
Okay.
a laundry list. Item number 9 is what?
Item number 9 was a glove.
And that was a Rockingham glove?
Yes.
Item number 13,
Item number 13 were some socks.
the socks found in the defendant's bedroom.
Yes.
Item number 33,
Item number 33 was a piece of carpeting that was removed from a Bronco.
was that the piece of carpet taken from the floor of the defendant's Bronco?
Sustained.
Item number 33, do you know the source, the origin of that?
I understand that it was removed from Mr. Simpson's Bronco.
Sustained. Answer stricken.
Have you seen the item?
Yes, I have.
Did you examine the item at some point?
Yes, I did.
And you know it to be?
A piece of carpeting.
Okay. And item number 27,
Item number 27 is a hat.
and do you know where that came from?
Sustained.
Do you recall the appearance of that cap?
Yes, it was kind of a cap with a little brim on it. I think it was like brown, maybe like a checkered design.
All right, photograph, Your Honor, people's number 439.
439.
Showing you people's 439. Can you tell us if you recognize in this photograph the cap you were describing?
Yes, that's the cap, item number 27 that I examined.
And with respect to the piece of carpet that you saw, item number 33, do you recognize that anything in this photograph as consistent with the piece of carpet that you saw and recognize as item number 33?
The piece of carpet underneath that hat was item number 33 that I examined.
Second photograph, people's number 440.
Excuse me?
Okay,
There.
number 33.
Yes.
Do you see an area on this carpet that you recognize as like the piece that you saw in the box number 2?
The rubber mat area that you see here, which is part of that piece of carpeting, that was, item 33 had that rubber mat and also a stained area, which I think you can see in the upper left corner of this photograph, just vaguely.
I don't know what my Sunday plans are, Josh, but you know what they're not? Anything to do with DNA. I will not be doing anything more with DNA today. But we will not get through her testimony today. Who's questioning her right now? Is it Marcia? I know. I wasn't paying attention. I know I wasn't. I was trying. Yeah, it's Marcia. She's still here on the next video, and Marcia is on the video after that. So I don't know. Oh, but we are on June 27th. We are almost in July. Oh gosh, I can't wait. Anyway, Sunday. No DNA.
There was a stained area there that appeared to be blood stain.
Unless I got really lucky.
Whoa.
You see where the arrow is pointing, Ms. Brockbank?
Yes.
Is that the area you just referred to that appeared bloody to you?
Yes.
I'm going to print this, Your Honor, and ask that it be People's 440A.
Yes.
All right, and then item number 38 was also in box number 2.
Yes.
And what is that?
38 was also it was a knit hat.
Do you recall what color?
I believe it was black, dark blue, black. Can't really remember.
I'll show you a photograph. Will that help you?
Yeah.
People's 441, Your Honor.
441.
Thank you.
Photo, blue hat, blue watch cap, or dark color watch.
Dark color. Looks
color.
darker now than. Do you
Yeah.
recognize that?
It's a dark color watch cap.
Do you recognize that?
Yes. It appears to be the watch cap.
Okay. Item number 38 that you referred to?
Yes.
Now going back to the label on that box. People's 438. Now those items that we've just itemized, 9, 13, 27, 33, 38, oh, excuse me, one more. Item number 37, was that also in the box?
Yes, it was.
And what's that?
That's another glove.
If you can tell us, ma'am, how all of those items individually packaged?
Yes, they were.
In?
Each of those items were individually packaged in paper bags, which had been folded over and taped closed.
With respect to the piece of carpeting that we've referred to as number 33, that you just pointed out to us in a photograph, how was that packaged?
That item was wrapped in white paper, and the paper was sealed with that 2-inch tape that I referred to earlier, that brown tape.
Was that carpet piece completely covered?
Yes, I didn't see any exposed areas.
And did the tape completely seal it?
It sealed the open edges.
So there was no openings in the container, the paper that was wrapping the item number 33 carpet?
None that I noticed, no.
Now, the other items that are listed as being in that box, were any of those items either hair or fiber items?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Well, you inventoried the box, did you not?
Yes, I did. I didn't open every single item. I just inventoried the packages that were in that box.
And with respect to the inventory, then everything in the box was individually wrapped, is that correct?
Yes.
In what?
Some of the items were in coin envelopes. The items mentioned before were, the item 33 was wrapped. The other items were in brown paper bags, and the rest of the items were in coin envelopes, which were also taped closed.
So everything was individually wrapped and sealed?
Yes.
With respect to the gloves, item 9, oh, let me ask you this. This box number 2, did you get this from shelf storage or from the freezer?
Box number 2 was frozen stored, so it was in the freezer.
So the items that you recovered from that box, were they frozen?
Yes, they were.
And the gloves, item 9 and item 37, were they frozen?
Yes, they were.
You examined them on June the 21st, did you not?
Yes, I did.
When you first examined them, were they frozen
They had been frozen.
and dry?
Yes, they were dry.
Was there
Foundation vague at the time.
Was there anything else in this box other than the items, the item numbers that are shown here?
That are listed on that label?
Right.
No, those are the only items that were in that box.
Now, was there a box within that box?
Yes.
And what was that marked, if you recall?
I believe it was marked red stains.
Was it sealed?
I don't believe it was.
Was it closed?
Yes, I believe it was just folded over the top.
And what was inside it?
Several coin envelopes.
And marked as containing?
I didn't make any notation of specifically what they were containing, but they were individual coin envelopes, and they were all individually sealed and numbered.
Were those blood swatches in those coin envelopes?
No foundation.
Sustained.
Do you know what was inside the coin envelopes? You're wearing clean gloves?
Yes, I was.
Now, at the time that you begin that kind of examination, what is your purpose? Why are you examining that item of evidence?
I was asked to examine these items and remove any trace evidence, things like hairs and fibers or other debris that were on any of these items.
And in order to collect hair and fibers from a given item, do you have some kind of container that you always use?
I use a paper bindle, so I have basically a white pad of paper that I use. I tear off sheets, and before I started, I kind of pre-folded some so that I had bindles all ready to go, and those were set aside. And so I took one of those bindles, had it out on the lab bench when I was examining the item.
And the first item that you examined was the cap, item number 27?
Yes.
People's 439. And that is the cap that was the first item you examined in this case?
Well, after item 19, yes.
I'm sorry, yes. Item 19 was, when you examined that item, that had already been removed from a piece of evidence, correct?
Right, that's
So is
correct.
this the first piece of first evidence item that you yourself examined in this case?
For the sake of collecting trace evidence off of, yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. And what is the method that you use to collect hair or fibers from this item?
Basically, it's picking, just using my hands, sometimes tweezers if my hands just don't quite have the dexterity I need, and picking off the hairs and fibers that I see. While when I'm dealing with garments, things like hats, clothing, I'll actually kind of physically roll the item and look very carefully across the top surface and see hairs or fibers that are kind of protruding, pick those off, place them into the paper bindle, and when I'm done picking everything that I can see, then I'll just gently kind of shake and scrape that item over that white piece of paper. If anything falls off, then I also add that to the bindle.
And did you, the the cap, when you first retrieved it from the box, you said it was contained in a bag that was taped shut.
Yes.
Before actually examining the cap, what, if anything, do you do with that bag that it was in? Do you look inside it?
As I'm removing the cap from the bag, I look inside to see if there are any loose hairs or fibers in the bag as well. Sometimes hairs or fibers will fall off of an item and remain in the bag.
And did you do that in this case?
Yes, I did.
And did you see any items of hair, fiber, or trace remaining in the bag when you removed the cap?
No, I don't believe I did.
After you collected the fiber and hair from the cap in the manner you've described into the bindle, what did you do next?
When I was done with my examination, I replaced the cap into its paper bag, and then I basically fold the white examination paper that I'm working on. I'll fold it and tap the sides so any loose fibers or hairs that may be there will kind of fall in based on kind of like a funnel effect. You tap the sides and gravity helps and the things fall down into that crease. And I crease it the opposite way so that I get everything in a very localized area on that white piece of paper and take those items and place them in the bindle.
You literally pick up whatever debris has fallen into the funnel created by the crease,
Correct.
and you put that into the bindle?
Right. Make sure that there's nothing else remaining on that white piece of paper. And then the bindle is placed into a coin envelope. I mark the bindle with some identifying information. I mark the coin envelope with some identifying information. Place the bindle into the coin envelope. I fold over the top flap, and then I remove the white piece of paper, discard it along with my gloves, and go on to the next item.
Before you mark on the bindle, do you fold it up?
Yes.
Before folding it up, do you check your gloves to see if there's any hair or trace remaining on them?
Yes.
And do you examine the paper that the cap had been on and the bindle had been on before you fold up the bindle?
Yes.
Again, for hair and trace that may have strayed off?
Yes.
After folding up the bindle, do you recall what you marked on it?
Not specifically, but probably something like, hairs and fibers removed from cap, item 27, my initials, the date, the DR number.
If I showed you a photograph, would it sharpen up your memory a little?
Sure it would.
Okay. This is the item number 111 that's already on the board, marked Peoples 436, Your Honor.
All right.
Well, this is shows the back of that coin envelope and then the bindle,
And
which is a little difficult to read.
Can we zoom in? Okay, the bindle is where in this photograph?
It's in the lower right-hand corner, just above the ruler. That white kind of square piece of paper with a lot of writing on it.
Okay. And the coin envelope next to it? Is that what you put it into?
Yes.
And what's that white envelope doing there?
The white envelope is an analyzed evidence envelope that I then place that coin envelope into.
Bless you. We're going to zoom in. All right. Okay, the coin envelope is now centered. Do you recognize that handwriting?
Yes, that's my writing.
And what does it say?
It says trace evidence removed from cap, item number 27, by S.A. Brockbank, E9110 on 6/21/94.
S.A. Brockbank, that's you?
That's me.
All right. Now, moving over to the bindle. Do you recognize that writing?
Yes, again, that's my writing.
Removed from cap, item number 27 by SAB, that's all what you wrote?
Yes.
And on June the 21st, 94 as well?
Yes.
Okay, there's a Q4 and writing on the lower left-hand corner of that bindle.
Yes, there is.
Whose is that?
That's writing placed on there by Doug Diedrich, and his initials are below that.
Now, there's a number on there, 9408-17431.
Yes.
What's that?
That's the DR number of this case.
And the item number 111?
That's the item number that that these hairs and fibers were later booked as by me.
So you take an evidence item from a crime scene, for example, in this case, the cap. Okay. That's item number 27. When you remove hair and fiber, you give that hair and fiber that you recovered from that piece of evidence a new number?
That's correct.
And in this case, it was 111?
Yes.
All right, after you repackaged, after you packaged this, actually, into the bindle and into the coin envelope, where did you put the coin envelope?
The coin envelope then went into that larger analyzed evidence envelope that you see. And then that was set aside on my workbench while I went to the next item.
And what did you do with the cap?
The cap had already been replaced into its paper bag, which was folded over and taped closed, and I returned that to the box.
Which was the item that you next looked at?
The next item was the knit cap, item number 38.
Before you looked at it, did you take any precautions to make sure the area was clean from anything that you might possibly have missed after creasing, folding, and everything else?
Yeah. I discarded that white piece of paper that I was working on, changed my gloves, placed down a new white piece of paper, and put on new gloves before I looked at the next item.
And the next item, item number 38, that was the blue knit cap?
Yes.
And what manner in which was it packaged in when you first saw it?
It was packaged in a paper bag, which had been folded over and taped closed.
And after you removed it from the bag, I take it?
Yes, I did.
And what did you do next?
Similar to how I examined the first cap, I removed the knit cap from the bag, placed it on my white piece of paper. Again, rolling it and looking, very carefully over every inch of the hat. I removed hairs and fibers from the exterior of the hat, placed those into a paper bindle, and then I turned the cap inside out, and I removed, using the same process, removed hairs and fibers from the inside of the cap, and I placed those in a separate paper bindle. Marked the paper bindle from the inside, hairs and fibers removed from inside of cap. Marked the paper bindle from the outside, hairs and fibers removed from outside of cap.
Okay, now, you started with the outside of the cap then?
Yes.
Before you even looked at the outside of the cap, did you look into the bag that had contained the cap?
Yes, I did.
Did you see any hair and trace inside the bag that held the cap?
I don't believe I did.
After you created the bindle for the, well, let me ask you this. You recovered hair and fiber from the exterior of the cap by picking,
Yes.
and then did you scrape it with your hand gently?
Not initially, not until I had already looked on the inside of the cap also. I didn't want to disturb anything that might be loose on the inside of the cap. So I removed everything I could by picking first from both inside and outside. And then I went back and just gently kind of scraped and, saw if anything came off.
So when you first looked at the exterior and the interior, you did not shake or scrape the cap?
No.
After you picked off whatever you could see from the exterior of the cap, you put that into a bindle, did you?
Yes.
Did you change paper or gloves before going on to the interior?
No.
And why not?
I was still examining the same item. There was really no reason to change gloves. Nothing that I saw.
Did you make any effort to examine the paper or your gloves after you picked off the exterior trace or hair?
Yes, there was nothing remaining on the paper and nothing remaining on my gloves.
Did you fold up the bindle containing the exterior hair or trace before you moved on to the interior?
Yes, that bindle was
Bye,
folded up
Terry.
and placed into a coin envelope, kind of set aside while I looked at the inside of the cap.
And then, after you looked at the inside of the cap, did you examine the paper and your gloves for any remaining hair or trace that might not have been collected into the bindle?
Yes.
Did you see any?
No.
And then did you fold up the interior bindle?
When I had it inside out, I actually did do the little scraping. There's no sense in turning inside out, twice, so I just did that and placed that in the bindle. Then I folded up the bindle. And then I turned the cap right side out and kind of gently scraped and shook the outside.
So did you create a third bindle for that?
No.
What did you do with the hair and trace that came off when you did the last scraping of the outside?
Put that back in the bindle marked exterior.
And after, okay, so you picked off the exterior, then you turned it inside out and picked off the interior,
Yes.
and then you scraped the interior.
Yes.
After you scraped the interior and completed putting everything into that bindle, you examined the paper and your gloves for hair and trace,
Yes.
and there was none.
Right.
Then you went back and scraped the exterior,
Yes.
and that hair and trace went into the exterior bindle?
Yes.
All right. After that, did you examine the paper and your gloves for any hair or trace?
Yes.
Was there any?
No.
And then what did you do?
Then the cap was, I kind of forgot. I always initial the evidence that I examine. So on item 27, before replacing the cap into the bag, I put my initials on. Usually I try and mark on the tag of the item. So I marked that cap, but then on 38, there's a tag on the inside, which I marked with my initials. Then I replace it into the bag that it came from, fold it over and tape it closed.
That's the cap itself?
Yes.
Okay. So you initial the packages for the actual evidence items themselves when you examine them for hair or trace?
Yes.
And you did that for 27 and 38?
Yes.
With respect to the bindles that you created, did you put them both in one coin envelope?
Yes, I did.
Were they closed up before you put them into the coin envelope?
Yes, they were.
I'm showing the photograph, Your Honor, that is already depicted, I believe, on our chain board.
All right, this has to do with item 112.
112, Your
and
Honor. No? I'm sorry, it's 113. It should be 113.
I'm sorry, on the knit cap, I believe I separated the interior from the exterior and put them in separate coin envelopes, not the same coin envelope.
113. We have the wrong, let me change photograph. All right, this is the photograph for item number 113 on the chain board, which shows hair and traceable number 38, we refer to as the blue knit cap. Are you looking at that photograph?
Yes.
No. All right, you see there's a blue thing down at the bottom of the photograph in the lower left-hand corner?
Yes.
What is that?
We call them slide mailers. It's basically a container that we place mounted slides. Those are slides with hairs mounted on them to protect the slide so that, you don't just drop a glass slide into an envelope and expect it to stay intact because it could get broken very easily. So we have these plastic containers, and we also have some cardboard containers
Hi,
that we
Kanisha.
place
You're
those
right.
slides into to
She's
protect
very
them
good.
when they're being transported and stored and that sort of thing.
I have two photographs. That's just from the chain board. I'm not marking those individually because they're already on 436.
All right, Mr. Carlo, can we print this one out? Yeah, we do. All right, it's available. Ms. Clark.
I have a photograph, Your Honor, asked that it be marked People's next in order 442. Can you tell us if you recognize what's shown in this photograph?
There's at the top of the screen, there's a larger coin envelope with my markings, 9408, 17431, item number 113, and SAB, which is an envelope that I placed the other envelopes, which aren't on the screen anymore, but were on the screen a second ago,
Let's
into.
pull back. Pull back a little bit here.
Yeah.
All right, that's a larger manila type envelope that you just identified?
Yes.
Below that, you see some other
There's-
things.
Right. Off to the left is a large white paper bundle, which I removed. That's actually a bundle that I placed debris. I believe there were like leaves and plant material on the exterior of the hat. I placed those into that bundle.
That has a separate item number, doesn't it?
No, it's also item number 113, which is what I booked these items as.
Okay. But you package the soil and the leaves separately?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And that's what's contained in that larger white package?
Yes.
Then off to the right of that, there are three small, appear to be white bindles.
Right.
Can you tell us what those are?
Those are three bundles that, well, when I initially examined the hat, I put the hairs from the exterior in one bundle and the hairs from the interior in a separate bundle. And then each of those bundles went into those two coin envelopes that you see in the lower right portion of the screen.
So did you separate then the bindle for the exterior from the bindle from the interior into separate coin envelopes?
Yes, I did.
Enjoy your
You
coffee.
want to correct that when you said earlier you didn't?
Right, that's what I said a couple minutes ago.
Right. All right, and then there's a third bindle there. Did you create that at some later point?
Yes.
How'd you do that?
Well, at a later point, I was asked to separate the darker pigmented hairs from the lighter ones. There were some hairs that appeared to be blonde in color, very light, and then there were some dark black to brown hairs. I was asked to separate those from the animal hairs, so there became now three bundles instead of just the one. One has the dark colored hairs in it, one has the light colored hairs in it, and one has the animal hairs in it.
Lots of stuff on that hat.
Yeah.
Did you somehow designate when you did that where those hairs came from on the cap when you had to regroup them?
Well, I marked each of those bundles, and the markings are there, and very basic descriptions of the hairs. The top one you can see 7 blonde, lightly pigmented hairs, no roots, from outer surface of knit cap, item 38, separated by SAB. Those are my initials on 6/23/94. So those were separated from the original bundle and placed into that bundle. And then the second bundle down, thank you. 4 dark brown to black hairs, including one with fleshy root intact, I was also asked to see if hairs had roots or if they were just fragments of hairs, which means they were broken or cut or in some way the root detached
This
from
is
them.
riveting.
So I noted that there was one
Riveting.
with a root. And then from outer surfaces of knit cap, item number 38, separated by SAB 62394. And then the third bindle, you can't really read what's on it, but it's you can see part of it. It's animal hairs and fibers.
All right, and did you make notations on the coin envelopes depicting which bindle was in which envelope?
On the coin envelopes, I noted that, well, the one on the right you can see says inside cap surfaces. The one on the left is covered up by one of the bindles, but it said outside cap surfaces, which were exterior of the cap, interior of the cap.
All right, and after you put the one, at that point it was just two bindles, one bindle in each
That's correct.
coin envelope, and you wrote on the coin envelope. What did you do with them, the coin envelopes?
I folded over the top of the coin envelope, placed those in that analyzed evidence envelope that I had set aside when I examined the first cap, placed it in there with that cap. Actually, it was inside that larger. I'm sorry. Those two went inside the larger, and the let me start over. The two coin envelopes and the bindles inside them, along with the larger white bindle you see on the left, were all placed in that larger envelope up at the top of the screen. Then that was placed into the analyzed evidence envelope that I had set aside after examining the first cap.
A box within a box within a box.
Yes.
Had you, at this point, opened that package containing the Bronco carpet, item number 33?
Had I what? I'm sorry.
Had you touched or had you opened that carpet, that piece of carpet, item number 33, that you described earlier as being encased in paper?
No, I had not opened it at that time.
All right, and what did you do with the blue knit cap after you completed all of this?
It was placed back into the paper bag that it came from, and the paper bag was folded over, taped closed, and put back into the box that it came out of.
And taped shut again?
Yes.
Did you move on to the next item of evidence at that point?
Yes.
And what was that?
The glove, item number 9.
Glove
And,
from
well,
Rockingham?
both of the gloves, item number 9 and then item number 37.
What did you do to prepare for the examination of those items?
Again, that piece of paper, my working surface from the previous item was discarded. My gloves were discarded. And a new piece of paper was laid down, and I applied new gloves. And then I took that glove, item number 9, removed it from the bag, and began my examination on it.
Perhaps this would be a good spot before we move on to that. All right, let me see counsel at the sidebar with the court report, please. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take our recess for the morning session. Please remember all of my admonitions to you. Don't discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Don't allow anybody to communicate with you. And do not conduct any deliberations until the matter has been submitted to you. And we'll stand in recess until 1:15. All right, Ms. Brockbank, you're ordered to come back 1:15. Thank you. Ms. Brockbank, would you resume the witness stand, please? All right, good afternoon, Ms. Brockbank. You're reminded you were still under oath. Ms. Clark, you may continue with your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think where we left off was the Rockingham glove, item number 9.
Yes.
All right, you recovered that glove, I think you indicated it was in a bag that was taped shut.
That's correct.
Can you tell us, you had clean paper down, you had clean gloves, your lab coat on. What did you do with the bag?
I opened the bag over the clean paper, removed the glove from the bag, and I noticed some hairs, I think, and debris inside the bag. So I removed those items, placed them in a paper bundle, and marked remove from bag containing glove, I believe. And then I examined the glove, the exterior surface for hairs and fibers, and there were some around the opening to the glove. I removed those, placed those in a paper bundle, marked remove from, I think I said opening of glove. I try and be fairly specific when items are removed.
And when you say from opening of glove, do you mean around the wrist area?
Yes, as on the exterior surface of the glove, the opening where near your wrist, these were found in that general area, right around there, not towards the fingers, but towards this end.
And was it on the outside of the wrist area?
Yes,
Okay, so you picked that off first
yes,
with your gloved hands.
yes.
And where did you put the items that you recovered from the wrist area?
In a paper bundle.
Now, when you removed you indicated there was some debris inside the bag that contained the glove.
Yes.
Did you tap that in, or did you take it out with your gloved hand?
I, basically had the bag in my hand, in my left hand, and then reached in with my right hand and, maybe gently tapped the bag out onto the white paper, and then placed that into the bundle.
With your hands?
With my hands, yes.
Okay. Did you look on the butcher paper underneath that bindle to see if any of the trace may have fallen out?
Yes.
And did it?
No.
And did you close up that bindle
Yes, I did.
and make some notations on it?
Yes.
What notations, if any, did you make on it, if you recall?
I think I basically put something about remove from bag containing glove, number 9, my initials, the date.
Okay. And did you examine your gloves for any remaining hair and trace before you picked off the hair and trace from the wrist area?
Yes.
Was there any on it?
No.
And after you picked off the hair and trace from the exterior of the wrist area of glove number 9, you put it into a bindle. Did you close that bindle?
Yes.
And did you examine your gloves to see if there was any remaining trace on your gloves or on the butcher paper underneath the bindle when you did that?
Yes.
And was there any?
No.
And after you closed the bindle, did you make some notations on it?
Yes.
Do you recall what the notations were?
Again, remove from glove, and I believe I said something about area around opening of glove.
Then did you remove any more hair or trace or fiber from that glove?
Not at that time.
After you created those 2 bindles, where did you put them?
They were placed into a coin envelope, which I folded over and then placed in a analyzed evidence envelope.
Okay, the coin envelope, did you make any markings on that?
Yes.
And what, if any, markings did you make on that?
I don't remember specifically, but basically trace evidence removed from glove, item number 9, and the date, my initials.
Okay, I'm going to show you a photograph that is already contained on the chain board for item number 110. Okay, do you recognize what's being shown there?
Yes.
And what is that?
On the left-hand side is that analyzed evidence envelope. Kind of in the middle area is that the coin envelope marked trace evidence removed from glove, item number 9, by S.A. Brockbank, E9110 on, and if you could focus, 6/21 and 6/23/94. And then down at the bottom, there's some other things. Those 110 and whatever's written after that, I didn't write. I don't know what that says. Down at the bottom is the DR number again, 9408-17431, and item number 110, also in my handwriting. And then on the right-hand side are three paper bindles, and there's marking on them as well.
All right. The 3 paper bindles, do you recognize any of them as being the 2 of the bindles that you've just described?
Yes.
Tell us which ones.
Can you
Can you zoom in on that?
yeah.
Your Honor, I have another photograph that shows the back of these items that might be more helpful to the witness, if I may.
All right.
People's 443.
443.
All right. Do you recognize, first of all, item number 110 there?
Yes.
Is that the item number that you assigned to the hair and trace removed from glove number 9?
Yes, it is. The top bindle is removed from edge of glove opening by SAB, the date 6/21/94, and item number 9.
Okay, and that's the bindle you just described to us?
Yes.
And below that?
Removed from inside paper bag, which contains item number 9, glove by SAB 6/21/94, which is the other paper bindle I described.
All right. Now, after you completed those 2 bindles, you put them into the coin envelope. Can we see that again, please? The coin envelope? Oh, let's go back to the one from the chain board that shows the coin. All right. Once again, I'm showing you the photograph that's contained on the board, People's 436. And the coin...
As item 110.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor, as item 110. And the coin envelope shown there, that's the one that you created on the 21st to contain the bindles for the hair and trace removed from glove number 9?
Yes, that's correct.
It's true, Bobby. I see it all the time. The more drinks go out, the more the quiet ones get extra, extra.
All right, there's writing on that envelope. It shows 110 and then J. I can't read the last initial. Can you read that?
I think it's JH 6/14/95.
Right.
JH would be my supervisor, Joe Horrigan.
And for what purpose would he be initialing this coin envelope?
I believe he was involved in just having this photograph done. So he opened up various items of evidence and had photographs done for court, so he initialed the items that he looked at.
All right, but this is the coin envelope that you made on June 21st, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
After you completed the
Prosecution is
recovery
stupid.
of the trace from the wrist and from the interior of the bag
Why
for
are
glove
they
number
doing
9,
this to the
what did you
jury?
do?
Why? For what reason?
I took that coin envelope and set
know,
it aside.
it doesn't
was in
matter.
the analyzed evidence envelope.
Doesn't matter what reason they're doing it. It doesn't matter because nothing they're doing right now is landing on the jury. Because how could it?
Set that aside, and I set the glove, either set it aside or put it back in the bag. I can't really remember because I was going to do something else with it as well. And then I opened up the next glove, which was item number 37, and began examining it on clean paper.
Now, with respect to the analyzed evidence envelope, was that the white envelope we saw in this photograph?
Yes.
On the chain board as number 110?
Yes.
Okay.
I bet
placed
she
the
roller
coin envelope
skates,
containing the
too.
bindles into that.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Well, you moved on to glove number 37 from Bundy.
Yes.
Now, when you did that, did you do it in the same area where glove number 9 was?
Well, I had like I say, moved glove number 9 either on its paper to a different area of the lab, or I had put it back in the bag. I can't really remember which, but then I laid down new clean paper on that work surface and got the next glove out of the box. It was in a bag.
Okay. Now, are you sure that you took steps to make sure that the 2 gloves were not in the same working area?
Yes.
And why are you sure of that?
Whenever I'm handling any piece of evidence, I don't want those 2 pieces of evidence to come into contact, just to prevent any possible contamination of fibers or hairs going from one to the other while I'm handling them.
Hold on. Okay. What did you do with glove number 37? First of all, let me ask you this. Before moving on to glove number 37 to open the bag, did you change the butcher paper on the table?
Yes, I did.
And that was after you'd moved number 9 away?
That's correct.
Did you change gloves?
Yes, I did.
And you're wearing the lab coat?
Yes.
Do you periodically ever look at the lab coat to see if any hair or trace is on your lab coat?
Yeah, periodically.
Did you see any during any of these processes you're describing to us today?
No.
So you examined number 37 on clean paper?
Yes.
What did you do with it?
Basically the same thing I did with the first glove. I removed it from the bag on the clean piece of paper. I examined the outside of the glove for hairs and fibers, and I picked those off, placed them into a paper bindle. Before I did that, I looked in the bag, and there were some fibers loose in the bag. So I removed those fibers in a similar manner as I did the first glove. And then I actually picked the fibers off of the glove itself. So I created one paper bindle for the fibers and hairs taken out of the bag, and a separate bindle for the hairs and fibers taken off of the glove itself.
And do you recall from what area of the glove number 37 you removed hair and trace?
I removed just from all over. I didn't make a specific notation as far as opening of glove. There was hair, and fiber just basically all over it.
On 37?
Yes.
More so than on number 9?
As I recall, there was, yes.
And did you assign an item number to that item, to the hair and trace that you recovered from number 37 glove?
Yes, I did.
What number was that?
I believe that was item number 112.
I'm going to show you a photograph that is on the chain board as item number 112. When I say chain board, I'm referring to People's 436. And do you recognize what's shown here?
Yes.
What is it?
Again, on the left is that analyzed evidence envelope. In the middle is a coin envelope. And on the right-hand side are 3 paper bindles. Not sure what that is between the paper bindles and item 112.
Could it be a pillbox?
Oh, yeah, that could be a pillbox.
Okay. Let's tell the jury what a pillbox is.
A pillbox is basically just it's a circular plastic dish, and it has a lid that fits on it, kind of snaps on, and it's something used in the FBI lab. That's what they put their trace evidence in. So they place it in those pillboxes, and it's a transparent thing so that they can examine what's in there, without having a piece of white paper to deal with. They like to deal with the pillboxes, and that's what that is. That was done at the FBI lab. That wasn't something I did.
And is there some red tape on there?
It's white and red evidence tape, FBI evidence tape around the edge.
Mm-hmm. And is there some red tape also on it?
Yeah, it does look like it down on the lower half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that.
Can't hardly see it, but yeah, I do see that.
All right. Now let's zoom in.
There's a monitor here that could be a little clearer, better angle.
Thank you, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
I see the red tape better on this monitor.
Okay. All right, let's zoom in on the bindles. Tell us if you recognize any of those bindles, please. First one up on top there.
Yes, I recognize it. It's got notations on it. Removed from inside bag, which contains item number 37 by SAB 62394.
Okay. And so you removed that, the debris from the bag for this item on the 23rd, not on the 21st.
That would be correct, according to this.
Okay.
I thought I did it on the 21st, but according to my bindle, I did it on the 23rd.
Okay. We'll get back to that. You revisited this, the gloves again then after the 21st, correct?
Yes.
All right. And the bindle just below that, do you recognize that?
Yes. That says outer surfaces of glove, item number 37, removed by SAB 62194.
So that bindle contains all of the hair and fiber and trace that you recovered from the exterior of the Bundy glove?
Yes.
And that's your handwriting, I take it.
Yes.
All right, now moving over to the coin envelope. Well, before we do that, there's a bindle below that, also appears to be your handwriting dated June 23rd, 1994.
Yes. And it says removed from inside of glove, item number 37 by SAB 62394. And then animal hairs, no human hair observed.
That was your observation, excuse me?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes. That was the observation you made with your examination of the hair and fiber contained in that bindle, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that bindle, the contents of it were later examined by Mr. Diedrich of the FBI,
That's correct.
and there was some discrepancy in your findings with respect to what was contained in that bindle?
Yes, there might have been.
We'll
I
get
don't
back to
remember
it.
specifically.
We'll get back to it later.
Okay.
And so that's the third bindle of hair, trace, or fiber that you collected from the glove.
That's correct.
Okay, that was from the inside.
Yes.
Showing you the coin envelope now. Do you recognize the writing on it?
Yes, I do.
Is it yours?
Yes.
And is that the coin envelope you created on the 21st to contain the bindles of hair and trace recovered from the Bundy glove?
Yes.
And you see the item number down at the bottom of that coin envelope?
Yes, it's partly covered by the red tape, but it's item number 112.
And the DR number for this case.
That's correct.
After you put the two bindles you created on the 21st into that coin envelope, you indicate you closed the coin envelope?
Yes.
Now again, as you did before, in between the examination of each item, did you look at the butcher paper on which you examined the item for any hair or trace that may have come off?
Yes.
And did you find any?
No.
Did you examine your gloves for any hair and trace that might have come off during your examination?
Yes.
And did you find any?
No.
Other than picking the hair and trace off the exterior of the glove, did you brush it as you did the other items you described, or shake it in any manner?
I don't believe I did, no.
Good. Look at this. Look at this. I don't know if this is going to show up for you. Yep, it did. All right, hold on. I'm going to take chat away because I am sure you don't want the world to know what you think about this, but maybe you do. I just found this out right now. My niece sent it to me. Theft, retail theft. The amount that was taken is $10.60. 16-year-old girl took a muffin and some drinks from her school cafeteria at lunchtime and is being criminally charged with retail theft for getting food at lunch from the school. Criminally charged. This is on her record. Yes, she's 16. Yes, it might be expunged, blah, blah, blah. Criminally charged. Arrested. Handcuffs. Police. She's 16. And the police is like, oh, this is the pipeline. This is how we keep them out of prison later in life. What? The hell do you mean this is how you keep them out of prison later in life? What are you talking about? She got food at lunchtime from the school. For crying out loud, this is crazy. I'm so pissed off. Absolutely. I live in Lancaster. I'm calling that school. I'm allowed to call that school. I live here. This is my community. These are my schools that my taxes go to pay. And this is bullshit. Because I know it. You know that principal goes down to that lunch line anytime he wants. That principal will walk down at 7:30 in the morning and say, hey, you got anything cooked yet? Hey, you got anything? And takes it. You know he does. The people who make the laws that make this illegal get free lunches. The lawmakers, they don't pay for lunch ever. They go into their cafeteria and they get free lunches. It's part of their pay. This is a 16-year-old girl with a police record now for eating food at lunch from her school. Oh, I'm so mad. Yep, this is a phone call happening tomorrow. Outstandingly. Yeah, no, they're making sure she's not in jail later. What? Probably giving her an eating complex, too. Now she'll starve. Now for the rest of the year, she'll starve. She'll be like, oh, I can't get any look. Everybody else is eating right now but me, and I can't do anything about it. They went over surveillance tapes to find out exactly how much she stole. $10.60. So that they could charge her right. Doesn't say anything like that. She's a minor. So they won't give us any of those details. But that's not in the police reports or anything. It is retail theft from taking a muffin and some drinks to school. That's what's in there. And it's Penn Manor, so it's not, so that means, so I know you guys don't live here, but Penn Manor is not like an inner city school. It's not a city school. It's out in the burbs. It's out in the suburbs. Ay. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna get a phone call tomorrow. It's going to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Humiliating her is right. I mean, I don't know who she is. They obviously didn't release her name, thank goodness, because that would be very embarrassing for her. But she still has all this to deal with. The school's not saying anything because they say they can't talk about specific student records. Oh, you can't, can you? You can't say anything? No problem. I'll say things for you. Not a problem. Do not worry about it. it's getting there in a different way, Nan. It's on Facebook. So, all right, guys, we made it through 2 hours of OJ. We're done. It's time to get to work, or it's time to relax because it's Sunday. One of those things I will not be doing. I hope you guys have a great day, and I shall see you all. Okay, hold on. I'll send a link. Abso-freaking-lutely, I'll send a link. Actually, instead, I want to do something different. If you're on Facebook, get the link from this girl. She just got monetized on Facebook. And she has the link. She just sent it to me. Oh my God, where is it? I'll put it in Discord if I don't find it in the next. There it is. Oop, there it is. Saved link, embed, report. I'm just figuring out how to send the link. Save link? No. Embed? Try this. See if this clicks. Oh no, YouTube won't let me. YouTube will not let me send that. I wonder if this will work. Yeah. Hopefully that takes you right to Justice page. But if it doesn't, here's the link. Oh, the news story moved. It's alright, I know where to find it. There's the news story, in case you can't get to the news story from Jess's. Yeah, ma'am. Alright. It's on Instagram. It's on Facebook. I wonder, anyway. The first comment I read on Millersville's. The Millersville police is taking care of this. The first comment I read was, my house got robbed back in 2006. And Millersville police told us there wasn't anything that could be done about it, and it wouldn't be investigated any further. Now, now y'all have time to charge a high school kid with theft over a turkey sandwich and some chips? They're right. They're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. My car got stolen before, and they were like, okay. Jeez, this is infuriating. This is infuriating. Alright, I'm going to get to work. I'm going to get to work. Got a lot of work to do, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you all again real soon. Bye, guys.